Alright, we're out shed hunting today. Solo. I was supposed to be with a friend, but I was never able to get in touch with him. So we're gonna walk this hill here for like 20 minutes and see if we can find a few sheds. It's raining. Temperatures in the high 30s, upper 30s, mid 40s. This morning it was freezing rain, so the deer are actually moving around now. So hopefully we can find some shed antlers, even though it's pretty early. Well, I didn't find any sheds yet, but I found me a group of does. So this tells me that there's gotta be a buck somewhere. You wouldn't happen to know where there's one any, would you? Would you? Always fun to find deer. Especially when you walk up and you're 15 yards from them. Just shaking off. Okay, we'll be back. I am walking through some awfully thick shit right now. I'm surprised I haven't found an antler yet. Again, it is really rare to find one this time of year. It's still a little early. Here's one of the outgoing trails. I'm going to walk over until I hit those deer again. Then I'll move out, across the road, home, actually. See you later. Well, I got up even closer to those does again. I'm at about 10 yards from the closest one. About maybe 18 from the furthest one. These deer are just not afraid of people. Not afraid one bit of anyone. Look, this one's coming even closer. You could literally walk up and pet one of them. Alright, I'll see you later. I got skunked today, so I'm gonna head back. I'm gonna head home. I was supposed to be out here with a friend, and that should have increased my odds, so I'm out of here. Well, I'm back at it again. I'm gonna try going down into the bottom here. This is normally a swamp. I want to hit it while it's frozen, or I can walk all around it. This is a different place. This isn't the same place that I was in day one. We got trail going up to the fence by the reservoir here. But see you guys later. Well, it's been about a week since I shed hunted, and I decided today that I'd go back at it again. The track. I'm gonna focus on this area now. Track over there's a good sized buck right here. Width tells me it's about maybe 3.5 years old. He's a pretty big deer, so I'm gonna just focus on this, key in on this area from the fence down in the corner there to up on the hill. So I'll be back in a while. I was checking on about a little smaller area in Woodland Park, same town as the other place, and I decided to check the small ravine. It was a small ravine cut off from a main ridge and then it went back up to another ridge. So I checked that, and that's mostly all swamp down there, so you can't check the whole thing unless it's frozen. So me thinking it was frozen, which it wasn't frozen, I went down there in the snow and tried to find some horns. A good way to tell that it's a bigger deer is this. You can tell he's dragging his feet, and I think this is a buck. I don't really know. But this might be a doe, it might be a buck, but it's a bigger deer. Well, again, didn't see a thing. Snow is probably contributing to that. We're gonna be back once the snow melts. Hopefully it'll melt soon. So I'll see you guys later again. Well, after not finding anything in the ravine, I decided to pull out of there and go just look around, see if I can find any bucks with dropped horns already. A little early. Well, we got a buck here. His horn's hanging. looking right at me. His horn is hanging. That thing is gonna fall. It's gonna fall at any minute. Oh, there goes a hawk. Alright, I'll see you later. If I can get this guy to drop his horn, I could have it on camera for you. As we're driving, I happened to look, and there was this buck in the field on the side of the road. So I said, stop and let's take a look at this buck. Well, the buck still had 2 horns, but the one was about to fall off. So I decided, what, I'm gonna go after this buck. Right. I'm on the trail of the buck now. I'm just gonna look until I find, because that antler was hanging by a thread. It could fall off at any time. So I'm just gonna follow his trail here, and I'm gonna see if he dropped it somewhere. Shouldn't be hard to find, being a fresh drop. Gotta get across this swamp here. He was right in here when I last saw him, and he ran off this way. Should be right out in there somewhere. Shouldn't be hard to find his horn. I'm just gonna follow his original trail. I chased him for about 110 yards or less, and I lost sight of him after that. Chased him up to this big pine tree. After that, I never saw him again. But that horn's gonna be in that area, so I'm gonna just keep hitting that area until I find it, and the other one. Well, along with other times I'm gonna be going after that buck, I decided tomorrow, since I don't have weight room, to go chase after him again in the same area from that pine tree. I'm just gonna walk that whole place. So I'll see you then. Well, you guys probably remember this one from one of my other things. This shed is similar to the left side of the buck I was chasing after. That buck is a big 7-point, and here, I'll show you right now. That's what the horn looked like, hanging off its right side. That side's the side of an side's got that's 4 on on one side, that's a pretty decent buck. After they had a hunt up there a couple of years ago, they really came back around. A lot of big bucks back again. It doesn't have as big as a eye guard as this one did, but it's thick like this one, and it's more straight than that one. Like, if I could pull down and pull that down, straighten the beam out. But this is really that's a really nice deer. I really hope I find that horn. Well, today I decided to go back again and see if I can find this buck. I'm on the buck's trail now. Just got out of school a couple hours ago. I'm gonna head over to this building over here. I'm gonna zigzag down the hill. That's where I last saw him. And see if he ran back up the hill. There's a bed right there. Well, I could track through here. Here's a buck track right here. That's a buck track. Haven't seen a dot of blood yet. If you see a dot of blood, that means the buck lost his horn. And he's bleeding. When they lose the horns, they will bleed. They will bleed. This buck was just hanging off, so I don't know. Alright, I'll be back. This time I left the ravine. I left that, and I decided to walk the whole ridge. So I went up there and I walked around. Plenty of good sign, beds all over the place. But I never got to see that buck. I never saw that jumped him or anything while I was going through that. I just found a set of coyote tracks. Some coyote tracks right there. Heading down into there. Goes into the bottom. It turns into swamp. And eventually. Haven't found the antler yet. Last I saw this buck, he was heading up this way. So hopefully I can find his shed. It was hanging off by a thread, so it's got to be off by now. I believe another good way of shed hunting is look for the buck. If you see a buck and he's bleeding, off right where his horn was, and he's got his head low to the ground, especially if there's snow on the ground like there is today. Go where he is. If he walks off, go to where he was. Just follow the blood trail all the way back. He'll find the horn eventually. But I haven't found a set of buck tracks yet. Just that one. That was a smaller one. I'm in a field of grass right now. I'm just gonna walk this, and then I'm gonna eventually head back into the hardwoods. This is just what I call CRP field. And I'm just gonna walk through this because this is where that buck probably ran into. That or the hardwoods down this way. But see if we can find his horn in this old CRP field. It was gonna come off at any time. So I'll be back if I can find it. The thing you want to do when you're shed hunting, look around just low-hanging trees, like if they're like leaning, or like a fallen tree like this one here, because a buck might want to go and bed in it, or go under it. If it's a bigger tree and it's a little higher off the ground, like go under it, and his horn might fall off, like if it was hanging like the one yesterday. So I'm gonna just walk these hardwoods here. I'm gonna eventually zigzag back through those hardwoods there. So hopefully we can find them. I was walking through some hardwoods when I got a call from my mom, who was driving up into the parking lot below me, and she found this. And I see the buck right here. He's right at the edge of the hardwoods here. I'm gonna see if I can. I'm gonna watch him for a little while, see if he'll fall. Let's do it. Find this buck. Maybe I could get a little of him on film for you. It's a pretty decent buck, maybe 110, mid 115. I don't see him yet, so I'm gonna turn the camera off for now. Hey guys, I'm out here up the side of the hill right now. Walk down through the bedding area, through this little open field here. I'm gonna walk down to see if I can find that shed from the buck I saw yesterday. I nicknamed it Pitchfork because of his one side. His one side is just a big tall fork. So I'm just gonna walk through here, through this open area. I'm gonna see if I can find him. Well, I just moved out of the hardwoods here into the timber. I'm gonna see, because that buck, he had a little red spot on his head, so maybe that horn could be laying somewhere around here. I don't know. Could be anywhere. That's why they call it shed hunting. You don't just go out there and find it. Little tip, guys. When you're looking for sheds, look along creeks and big logs, because the big bucks, they don't be seen, and they just jump. And they'll jump however long it is, and they're just gonna jump because they don't want to be seen. They'll do anything to get around it. So I'm just gonna walk along this little creek here and see if I can find one. So this should be a pretty easy. If he dropped it, I walked about 400 yards and I found a shed yet. So I'm gonna go up through this field and cut across the road into the next patch of hardwoods we got here. So stay with us. Might be pretty good for us this time. Crossed over the road and now I'm in another patch of hardwoods on the edge of a field. So I'm gonna see if I can find it in here. Not that much woods in here, but I'm gonna cross to that bedding area that is about 100 yards from where I am, maybe. So I'm gonna see if I can find them now. So another tip is, don't be afraid to check around big trees that have fallen, because when the buck they don't want to be seen, they just jump. They'll jump around, they'll jump over these big trees, these big fallen trees, to get away from anything. Just check the sides. You might find one. I'm in another patch of hardwoods here. I'm gonna see if I can find it. Just looking around creek crossings. The creek is pretty big, pretty wide right now due to, with all the melting snow, so it shouldn't be hard to find it if you dropped it over this way. Got a group of does here. Oh shit, the camera battery's going low. So, just get a little clip of these guys and keep going. There they are right there. Going out to the road. Quite a few of them. Don't see any horns on any of them though. So stay with us. Maybe we can walk this creek crossing. Walk this creek and see if we can find some. We got a buck in here. His other horn is gone. Both horns are gone. I think it's a buck. I'm gonna see if I can get up or swing around wide and get him behind him. See if I can make his trail again. So stay with us. Maybe we can get him. Well, I have confirmed it's a buck. I haven't confirmed that it's pitchfork though. But it is a pretty decent sized buck, big body. So I'm going to see if I can walk up through here a little bit and see if I can find his antler. Because it looks like he just dropped it. So stay with us, maybe I can get him.